Everyone wants a well cared for, beautiful green lawn. We've got an expert here that's going to tell us exactly how you do that. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome everyone to the Your Little Castle Show, always highlighting those leaders, 20 years in this case, 20 years of experience. Green Elements is in the building. The owner here is an expert to make sure that your lawn looks beautiful and green. Give a warm welcome to our guest, Brian Schremp. How you doing, Brian?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the studio. You got word from a couple of the guests that were on the show. They said this is kind of a fun thing. I appreciate that. And I am one who has struggled. I get some stories, man. I am one who has struggled to get that beautiful green lawn. Brian may have seen some evidence of this, but gosh, I've had a few companies come in and they promise all this wonderful stuff, and then one time I had like bamboo shoots growing in my backyard, 6 feet tall. My dogs were making paths, and the neighborhood association called and said, "Get that fixed. What's going on here? This is in the jungle." But if you get somebody who really knows what they're doing, which I've seen the work you do, beautiful, 4.9, 140 reviews. Brian knows what he's doing. That's what we're looking for. So tell me, before I get too far into this, tell me what led you here. When did you decide you enjoyed taking care of lawns, irrigation? You do a lot of watering systems too. Tell me what led to that.
I was mowing grass for a friend of mine that had a small company, and we kind of slowly worked into the treatment side. I've really found an interest in it, helping customers getting the grass looking green. So started my own business about 10 years ago, and just built it from there.
Yeah, well, there's a definite need for beautiful green grass in our region here. Tell me though, one thing that I'm going to go off my normal list of questions here, but we have had a lot of construction guys in here, and they say the weather here is such such variance. It's 80 degrees one minute, and then we talked about we might have another freeze here. We're in late February, early March. How much does the weather that we have play into making your job a little more difficult, or maybe helping you get business because people get tired of dealing with that? Tell me about it.
Yeah, you can come back and ask me every single year what was different about the weather this year. I could tell you something new, something cooler springs, hotter summer, more rain in the summer, more rain in the spring. There's always something to do and always change. But with the St. Louis, you got the cool season grass. I mean, it likes cooler weather, but we still hit 110 degrees in the summer and 100% humidity. So it does a little bit of damage, but everything kind of starts in the fall. So you're building towards that next year, every single year.
And so you can see that kind of, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. The fall, obviously, you're saying that does have an impact, kind of a predictor for what's coming.
No, not necessarily. It's just the season starts, so to say. I mean, you look at January 1st as the start of the year. Truly, the start of the grass season for us actually starts in the fall. Everything you do in the fall is building to the damage that comes next summer.
Okay.
Then the following fall, you rebuild it for the following year. So,
all right, that makes sense. Cool. With that, we will give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. You may have a little castle that has a beautiful lawn, thanks to Brian and Green Elements here. With that, we're going to put back up on the wall your Facebook and website. You have a great looking website, lots of good information there, and what we're looking to help share with people, because we didn't want to see people learn about this whole grass maintenance business. I mean, like I said, we'll talk about whether you should do sod, grow your own. I've got a little pack thing that I got. So I've got my own grass cutting robot now. All right, and it's kind of cool, but there's one area where it went up to the sidewalk and it would hit and then turn and whatever, so I just threw some dirt in there. Well, then the grass was already kind of dilapidated there, so then I just bought one of these little packs off of whatever, Scott's or something. Comes to the house, pour that, and it looked really nice. But these are little tricks of the trade that the average person is not going to be good at these things. You've got to have some kind of expertise.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 years doing this. What about this ultimately fuels your passion for this? Why did this turn into something you decided to make a career? You're doing something for 20 years, you obviously enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm truthfully helping customers out. The trustworthy aspect, we built the business on referrals. We didn't spend thousands of dollars in marketing just to get random customers. Our business is built the last 10 years just from someone being happy, referring us out, and we get the next customer, and we take care of them. The idea, you're not just a number. It's, I need 500 customers this year and meet deadlines. It's once a customer becomes ours, I mean, we build with them and grow it and keep the lawn looking nice.
Yeah, it's easier to keep a customer than it is to find a new one, right? And so
Yeah.
these people, that's a great, it's kind of a residual style business where you start off with somebody and do a good job, then they come back the next year and the next year and the next year. And even if some people move, they come back to you, say they're at their new home and say, hey, can you come to the new home? That gives me another, what part of the country, part of our region, should I say St. Louis area, mostly, what do you service the whole area or where do you focus?
Yeah, we're based out in Lincoln County, right on the border of St. Charles County, Lincoln County. So we go from Lincoln County to St. Charles County into St. Louis County. We just don't go down into Jefferson County. It's really kind of our cutoff, and we don't go over to the Illinois side.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a pretty big region with a couple big counties there. St. Charles and Lincoln are big counties, and St. Louis, obviously. So you cover quite a bit. Does the way you treat the grass different in those three regions? Is it all pretty much the same? We're not getting any kind of big traumatic difference in
No, not necessarily, but temperature-wise, temperatures stay for the most part the same through region. You might see a little bit different in a more mature neighborhood with more mature trees on the grass, different things that you need to do, opposed to new construction that you're seeing a lot out in St. Charles County. But that's about the only difference between region-wise.
Okay, so the trees that are on the property, obviously they affect the way the grass grows? Is they're providing shade?
You'll never walk into the woods and find a beautiful grass. You'll never find a prairie, a farm. You'll never find that grass in the middle of the woods. That changes stuff. So you can't have too many mature trees because that affects the soil underneath it, the moisture levels. So there is, the trees play a part of it too. So, yeah. Interesting.
All right. Yeah, because trees, now is it because they're drinking, if you will, or they're consuming the liquids, or because they're blocking more light from getting, or a combination of the two?
Combination, yep. Yeah, it's sucking all that water out of the ground. You're never going to get enough water to feed a mature 75-year-old oak. The leaves that fall down could mess with the pH of the soil. It's pulling up nutrients. Shade affects stuff too. Yep.
Okay, so
there's so much.
The pH is affected by the leaves that you have, and so you got to be careful. All right, now it's like I feel like I'm dealing with my hot tub where I got to keep my pH levels at certain levels to make sure that they much more important. And when you're growing something, I'm not trying to grow anything in a hot tub typically. That's not good.
No.
But yeah, interesting the way that affects everything. And those, I get back to, I always make my point. This is why you hire professionals, everyone. You want somebody who knows what they're doing because they can handle all of these variables. That gosh, how many times have I cut lawns, tried to do a little work on my own lawn? I had no idea that pH was part of the equation there, on what you've got to manage.
Yeah.
All right. Do they have we have a variety of different types of grasses in St. Louis. What do you recommend? Bluegrass, zoysia, what do we have here, and what do you recommend?
Most you're going to find is probably 90% cool season grass, so that's your fescues and your bluegrasses. Then we do have the warm season where you got zoysia and Bermuda. Zoysia is a love-hate. Some people love it, some people hate it. Bermuda really around here is more of a weed opposed to down south where you'll find a lot of Bermuda, and down even into southern Missouri.
Interesting. Bermuda. Now, is Bermuda like zoysia? Is it thick?
It runs on rhizomes. Yeah. It loves the warm temperature, but it runs on rhizomes.
Okay,
so,
what are rhizomes?
Their root system, it goes horizontally through the grass and pops up from there. Yeah.
Interesting. And so, is that the one, both of those turn brown in the fall?
Yeah, they'll be the first ones to turn brown. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that. But they are thick and kind of, soft on your feet. But how often, what do most of our golf courses around St. Louis use? I guess it's a variation of...
Yeah, you'll see your bent grass in certain areas. You'll see Bermuda in certain areas. You'll see some zoysia, fescue. They use a mix of it depending on what part of the course you're on. You'll see different types of grass on a golf course.
And you said fescue, zoysia. Are those different species of grass, or what are those? How many of those?
The category. You got your cool season and the warm season, so the different climates it likes.
Okay, and a fescue is what we have most yards have?
Yeah, most of St. Louis is a lot of fescue here in St. Louis.
Where do they come up with the name fescue? Any idea? The scientists came up with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Based on fescue. Look that up, break it down into Latin somewhere. It'll give you some elements for whatever they construct that from. What's your passion for this? And obviously, for 20 years has led you to this. I want to go over your reviews a little bit here. We've got a lot nice things. Obviously, when you've got 140 reviews, everybody, then you've done some good work. And we've got that on wall number 1 over here. I'm going to slide down and you can see, yeah, there it is. I'll put this up on the wall. I'm going to randomly pick one. Do I randomly pick the one guy that you didn't even have as a customer that decided he was going to say something about what? Wow, we could read this one, but that would take a while.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Excellent. Our yard has never looked this good. Very professional and cost effective. I wouldn't use anyone else in St. Louis. And that is from David and Margaret Gloyd. We use green elements to sprinkler work this year. Price is very reasonable. The owner is smart and personable, and the work was done right. They even took extra time to teach me a few things about my lawn sprinkler system while we were out there. I will definitely be using them again next year, probably for more than just a sprinkler system. All of those that we've gone over, they're all 5 stars.
Yep.
Does that make you feel kind of good about what you're doing?
Yep. That is the goal, is to make sure the customer's happy. They're taken care of. They trust us is the big thing. I mean, sometimes they're not homeowners. We're doing the work. They got to trust us, and that's the big thing that I hear is people aren't happy with the results, hiring a company that promise them stuff, but don't deliver anything.
Yeah, how often do we have people that they tell you they're going to do all this magical, wonderful stuff? I'm in the marketing space, and so there's a lot of people, oh, we're going to get all this great reviews, we're going to get all these, we ranked on page 1, and give us 3 more months, give us 3 more months. There's a method to all that, everybody, and there's some things you should do before that. I can get into that later. But bottom line is promise what you can deliver and don't overpromise. And so obviously when you've got 140 people saying good things about your business, that's evidence that you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, we're going to get into a little bit more of our community stuff here, but I got a couple more questions with regard. Now, if somebody, and this kind of leads to a question I'm going to ask a little bit later, but people try to do this themselves, but what would you give just as a basic tip to somebody? Is it good to seed in the fall and then water, and what are just some of the basics that people should understand about how to maintain a lawn?
Yeah, the best thing to do is always do your seeding work in the fall. Fall is the time, what I said earlier, is that's when we're building for next season. The cooler temperatures, grass is technically growing through the winter. It's still alive. It'll thicken up in the spring when everything's ready and everything pops. The big thing is put some water, deeper watering, longer waterings. And the huge thing around St. Louis is cut the grass tall. The shorter you go, the more sun, the more it burns out. You can do anything you want. If they cut the grass at 1 inch or cut it too short, you're robbing everything from it.
Cut the grass tall. That's a tip I hadn't thought about or realized, but yeah, because that impacts water, air, sun mostly, and causes problems for people that you don't want to experience, because last thing you want to do is burn your yard by having too much sun hit it, and then your big problems, you'll be calling you for a full yard redo, right?
Yep.
And so that could be a lot more work that people don't necessarily want to take on. Well, good stuff. We're going to jump into a little bit of our community related things we're taking on here. We work with a lot of different organizations and charities. So with that, enjoy a little bit of our community work here. Stay tuned. Will Bates, everybody. Will Be Inspired. Tell me about the event you got going on here.
Oh, we got a golf tournament today. Got some people coming out to support our military veterans and first responders. Everything that we raise today goes towards benefiting them, mental and physical health, overall wellness, wellness retreats, outdoor retreats, gym memberships. You think of it, you name it. That's what we do. So this is all to benefit them. I appreciate everybody coming out and taking action. Thank you.
We're at Old Hickory Golf Course. Been here for a number of events. Great crowd here. Yep. How many people turn out for this thing so far?
Oh, there'll be at least 170 people here.
170 golfers, everybody. All right, if they need the Cardinal Cowboy to give out some free golf lessons, I might be doing that later. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for that.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Giddy up. We'll see you guys. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. There we go, everybody. You can see a lot of the fun we get to partake in our community, and a lot of great leaders that are helping to make it happen for what we're all trying to help make the world a little bit better place here. It comes back. That's kind of the way it works. But let's do a little quick cost analysis, if you would, something that I'd like to analyze a little bit about with regard to, in this space, you can go up to the big box store. We don't name by name, of course, but you can go up there and you can pick up a bag of some kind of seed and then some fertilizer, and on your own attempt to do this. But what are people really putting at stake when they do that? They mess this up, they're going to spend quite a bit more money, they're going to have to come back and do it again. Tell me a little bit about what people are doing by taking on that task themselves.
Yeah, the biggest thing that you're going to see is just time management, making sure applications go down at the right time. Some people have that desire, and some people do a really good job doing DIY. But some people they want to take that off their plate. They don't want to deal with, when do I put this down? What do I put down? How much do I put down? What product to buy? It's so much easier just to hire somebody to take care of it.
Yeah, so these are people that are semi-retired, I guess. Because I mean, it can be a full-time job with regard to timing and water and all that. Which reminds me, you also do a lot with irrigation too. So you've got a business that you merged with another company, or how did that work? Where now you're doing so much more irrigation? Yeah,
10 years ago we started on the treatment side. We built that up a couple years. It was doing very well, and then we started to add the irrigation side. And then last year we were able to acquire ATO Irrigation. He was going out of business. He started the business in 1987, and he was ready for retirement. So we were able to take over his customers and continue the good service that he was offering them for 30 plus years, and continue that. So we've been very thankful for that opportunity.
And by now you're saying irrigation has become a large percentage of the business, and that's critical for, like anything, if you don't have water, things don't grow, right? It's true for humans, it's true for plants, and so now you're putting in these systems. What's the average irrigation system go for these days, and how long does it take to implement?
Yeah, it varies on the property size, really. I mean, you could start at $4,000 to start getting a system in. The larger the property, obviously, it goes up from there. So our biggest thing is that we like is the maintenance side of them. Maintaining them, doing some smart upgrades for smart controllers to save on money and watering, doing repairs and maintaining the systems for the customers.
Okay, so yeah, now your irrigation systems have become smart, and they can figure out when the best time is? Do they measure the water levels, or how do they determine when to go on? Is it time of day and all that?
Yeah, it talks to the weather station, so it knows the prediction. If it's supposed to rain today, the irrigation system won't go off. This old standard just rain sensor, it had to rain, it had to get wet before it stopped. Now it already knows if it's going to rain at 3 o'clock this evening, it doesn't need to water at 4 a.m. this morning. So it can skip waterings for you and reduce watering times when it's cool. When it hits 90 degrees tomorrow, it increases. When it hits 60 the next day in St. Louis weather, it decreases for you automatically for you.
AI, computers taking over here, everybody. Write that one down. Get a hold of Brian and get that kind of a system put in place, because that can really automate. We have our light controls, and I won't say it because it'll turn the lights off, but I can say to the command to the, it's not Alexa, it's a different one that Samsung uses, but turn on the lights, and boom, the lights go. But now you've got this thing communicates to the Weather Channel and figures out what's coming, and then can have everything prepared and in place. That's pretty cool. Some advanced stuff going on there, everybody. Tell me, though, why should somebody choose you guys? You've been doing this for so long, but what is it you think that helps you guys to stand out? I mean, tell me if I'm right here, but a lot of companies, they do the grass maintenance and they help grow the grass and feed and treat, but to have the irrigation is a separate company. You've got both of those together. Is that a big advantage?
Yeah. Some customers like to have dealing with one contact number to where they can deal with both those things. Unfortunately, we don't offer mowing service. I'd love to be able to say we could offer the 3 big main ones, but we stick with the 2 that we know best and that we do. So the irrigation and treatments is what we do.
And I'd say a lot of people, they still enjoy cutting their own grass, but it's getting it growing, and that's the difficult part. And these days, I mean, I wonder how many grass companies, we've had a couple on the show, and we're still at a point, but I've got that electric robot thing now, and it goes and cuts the grass for me. It just does the whole thing, and it looks great. Had to get it tuned with the little receptor thing that was off and whatever, just plugged it into the thing. And it gave me 2 plugs. I'm like, well, but we figured it out. But getting the grass done, that's where you come in and make a yard look as beautiful as you can see in a lot of the pictures that we've got on the wall behind us here. But that is dynamite and what people are looking for. Give me a little bit about, I didn't realize, especially with regard to irrigation, there's a lot of certifications that are required. And tell me about some of the certifications and insurance and those kinds of things that people should make sure that a lawn care company does have.
Yeah. On the treatment side, we have to be certified with the Department of Agriculture to be able to spray commercially on residential properties to be safe. And then on the irrigation side, we have to, for testing backflows, we have to be certified through the state of Missouri, and then we have to be certified back into St. Louis County if you want to do testing in St. Louis County. So there's many different certifications we have to keep up with and continue in education to keep learning about our industry on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was going to say, just to even keep up with this from just a basic knowledge perspective, there's a lot to learn. But I guess there's always innovations and new changes and things they learn. And so you've got to keep those certifications continuing as well.
Correct.
True?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of education with any industry that you're going to learn. But as I realize, especially when you've got both the grass and the irrigation systems, you're controlling both of those. A little more to manage and a little more that you need to be certified for to make sure it's. If you install an irrigation system correctly, you can soak somebody's house. Yeah. Have you seen this happen? You've never done this, but
I've seen some DIY irrigation systems. Normally, they can do better on the treatment side than DIY irrigation, but I mean, we've seen everything.
Yeah, I guess anytime you get too involved with water, that's why plumbers have such a need. But that's a separate thing outside in the irrigation systems. But you run a pipe the wrong way, somebody runs up, you got a fountain coming out of the front yard, and you flood a area of water, then now you have no grass, or you've made a lot more damage than you could have ever. It could have been easier to hire somebody to begin with. Back to that point we make there. As a small business owner, you started off, and how many people you got working for you now?
We have five workers with us.
Okay, and these are guys you've developed. How long did it take to develop your team of 5 and get the right guys in there that you could make sure the job was getting done right?
It's taken many years, and but they're always growing too. I am so grateful to have them. I think that's one of the best things. We work as a group. We have fun at work. Communicate good. My goal is for them to enjoy their job, and they do. I mean, you can see it on their face. They say it. You can see it's not just a job to them. They're happy to be in at work, and it reflects back on the customers and makes everybody a lot more happy in general, just having good employees working for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be very fulfilling, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. I'm going to ask you to stick around for a second half hour. We got a lot more to talk about if you don't mind, but just to make something that looks so beautiful, to get that lawn that looks just immaculate, and got the rolling hills, and when you get it all, in order and irrigated properly, then you really make somebody's new home look beautiful. How long does it generally take for somebody when they move into a house or when they take over a house to go from wherever they're at to looking beautiful?
We like to tell people it takes a couple of years, but you're seeing huge improvements by the first year, especially if you start early in the season, work on the weed control. Then we get to the fall seeding part. By that next spring, you're seeing a huge improvement on the lawn. As long as they're doing those small little steps of watering, cutting tall, they're seeing the results. So we try not to overpromise, but they normally start seeing results pretty quickly, and it gets better every single year going down the road.
Yeah, how big of an issue are weeds then? I guess that's something that you've got these crazy critters. I mean, dandelions. Apparently they're okay to eat. I haven't done that, but they got some nutrients or something in them. But they don't look so good. I mean, unless you're looking for that yellow yard, those are not necessarily what people are looking for. But how much weed control is a percentage of what you're doing?
It takes a lot, especially with a lawn that hasn't been maintained in many years. You're not going to find a one-time spray that just magically clears everything. I mean, you got the weed seeds from last year, the year before, that are wanting to grow and keep popping. So it is a real front heavy on the customers that we have to do a lot more weed control first. And then same thing, every year it just gets better and better. I mean, you're never going to find a lawn that doesn't have a weed. My lawn gets a weed in it. But it gets better.
The lawn man himself gets a weed, but you know how to take care of them.
Yep.
And I can tell you, this is a funny one too. As we'll finish up here, we got a little bit. I want to ask you one more question. But I bought some stuff at the local store. Came back to the house, and I was so kind as I sprayed and killed a couple of the weeds on my side, and I saw some that my neighbor had, and I decided to spray those too, just as a favor. They were kind of on the edge there. Come back and it killed everything. And I just didn't buy the right stuff. And they're like, "Hey, Carter, did you happen to spray some of your stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry about that." And so if you don't know what you're doing, then you can cause these kind of problems. For people. Not the way to do things. We got about a minute left. And tell me, what are some of the real benefits of working with a small business like yourself? Because you really get to pay attention to what people need, right?
The biggest thing is, I mean, you're not calling a 1-800 number. You're not calling a franchise. You're not calling out of state to have an issue that's local. When you have an issue or you need a question answered, we're here to help you. I mean, I'll take the time to educate you as much as you want to know about the products and what we're doing and how to change things, or it can be a completely hands-off approach where you're like, I'm hiring you to do it. I trust you. Just tell me what to do and I'll pay the bill. Either way, we're here to help.
Yeah, well, it gets into a matter of does fall into the category of probably not something, unless you've got a real green thumb, I guess is what they might say, but to take this kind of task on, to do it correctly, I guess when you start talking about everything that gets involved with getting with weeds and irrigation and the time of year and seeding, go do what you do for a living, stick with that, do well at that so you can hire the right people to come in and take care of your yard for you. But that's what we would emphasize. It might be a good strategy for you as a homeowner in our region here, where you do end up with a lot of different types of grass and all kinds of stuff, the fescues we talked about. But we appreciate you sticking around here. We're going to ask you to stick around for one more half hour. Yeah. And if you miss any of our shows, you can watch them live on our YouTube channel as recorded live, and enjoy all those. We'll be back. Everybody stay tuned. This is the Your Little Castle Show.